Welcome back, guys, to a brand new episode of Global Med Talks. I'm your host, Haider Ali, and today I'm with Mahdi Khan, who's a USMLE mentor and a UWorld Ambassador. So, Mahdi Khan, do you want to just talk us a bit more about what you do and who you are?
First of all, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be in your podcast.
Absolutely.
I'm a fifth-year medical student.
Okay.
You can call me MK, by the way.
Okay, MK. Nice to meet you, MK.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure's all mine. So I'm a fifth-year medical student. I create content about USMLE mentorship. By the way, I've not given the exam yet.
Okay.
I like to share about my experience and through my mistakes, guide students so that they don't end up making the same mistake as I have done. I've also collaborated with UWorld. I'm their ambassador for my university. And I help students basically navigate this long journey of USMLE Step 1 in the most simple way possible without having to have a lot of hurdles.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. So I saw you did a USMLE workshop in University of Georgia yesterday.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us a bit more about that, please?
Sure. So the event was basically in collaboration with UWorld.
Okay.
UWorld is the most popular medical resource for any USMLE aspirant students. It's like basically like a question bank, and they have other resources as well. So me and my team, we held a cohort with the university to basically guide students as to how to use the resource in the most effective manner, as well as other USMLE strategies that they can apply.
Right, okay. So did they reach out to you, or did you have to reach out to them?
No, I had to reach out to them.
You had to reach out to them, yeah.
They're all the way there.
Yeah, true. And okay, so you're a tutor, right?
Right.
So could you just tell us a bit more about how you got into teaching in the first place?
Right. Back in school, did you have those friends who, you literally reach out toward the end of the exam and ask them to, brainstorm everything out?
Yeah.
So that's what happened with me, So like my friends, they used to just call me up and like, bro, can you please explain everything in the high yield stuff in like 5
last
minutes?
Minute revision.
Yeah, last minute revision, right? So I used to do that. And then as I was doing, that was like basically in primary grades, right? Primary, like secondary school, most likely, secondary school. And that's when I realized that, I'm good at explaining. Because my friends used to, like maybe gaslight me.
Okay.
Yeah, like, oh, you do a good job and stuff. So that's how I actually picked up that skill. And I thought like, yeah, I can do that. So that's how I started, helping out, starting with friends. And then when COVID hit, I thought, I should be doing something, to support myself as well. So I started like Instagram and, start promoting my teaching services.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've got a bunch of students. Back at that time, I used to teach advanced physics and chemistry.
Right, okay.
Started off that way.
Yeah.
And there we are. That's how the journey started,
Okay, yeah. And that's really good because, teaching is one of those skills that a lot of people overlook.
Yeah.
Because, it's quite hard. It's easy to know the information, but then it's another thing explaining the information as well.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people can't do that. I know I struggle with it.
Yeah.
I know it's a skill that, I truly look up to when if you have it, because I'm trying to get that skill as well. And it's really hard, formulating your words in the right way.
Yeah.
And not only just formulating in the right way, you gotta do it in a way that the other person understands.
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
You
Your audience varies.
Exactly.
You have to, tailor yourself in a way that the person's gonna understand. Have you heard of the Feynman technique?
Feynman, what's that?
Feynman technique. Okay, Feynman is basically like a physicist, and he was a great professor in physics. So he says, you cannot tell yourself that you understood the topic if you cannot explain it to someone who's a 5-year-old.
Right, okay.
So you don't know the thing yet unless you can actually teach it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
I've
saying?
heard of the concept, but
Yeah.
I think the Feynman technique,
That's basically the catchy name for that. And that actually, that quote stuck to me. Like even now when I'm studying, right, they say the best way of studying anything is to teach.
Yeah.
And you cannot teach somebody if you don't know your stuff. And especially if you're not prepared for, asking, like sometimes, they will ask you those deep questions. Like you could be studying passively and you think you know it, but then once you start teaching and they ask you those deep questions, that's when it hits you, like I've not connected the dots yet.
True. Yeah. It's helping you in a way as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, you fill in the blanks in your own mind that you didn't even know that existed beforehand.
Exactly. Yes.
So, I didn't know this before. This is a good way of thinking about it. And then you have to research about it because you have to explain it to the student. It's really good, man, honestly. And, also on your social media, it's not just about teaching. Like you show a bit of, like medical school lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
and your videos are actually really good.
Thanks, man.
Honestly,
Appreciate it.
I'll tag his username somewhere on the screen.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, if you want to talk about how you started with that actual social
Yeah.
media aspect as well.
So it all happened during COVID time. You know, we had plenty of time. I think we all were on YouTube trying to find, you know, ways to, you know, just skip time, right?
Yeah.
So around that time, around 2021, 22, I was very avidly listening to this specific YouTuber, Ali Abdal. Have you heard of him?
Ali Abdal, yeah.
He was into med school, and then he was doing content on the side, and then he was also, you know, handling multiple businesses. Shout out to Ali Abdal.
Shout out.
So, like
Please collab.
Definitely.
Might as well.
Yeah, like that man, I kid you not, like he's the one who gave me that perspective that you could do med school and, you know, like pursue on these creator hobbies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have any background in filming or scripting and, you know, all the effort you need to put into a video, right? But that man gave me that perspective that you could be a no one, you could literally start from scratch and slowly build up. And that's where, you know, that fired me, you know, like ignited it. Oh, I can create content.
Yeah.
And the best thing of creating content is like you are actually, you know, forcing yourself to create something. You're not living a static life.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're being creative as well.
Exactly.
You're creating things. You're not just regurgitating the information that you're being fed.
Yes.
Like you're actually using your brain.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that part of me was okay, and that's where I started, you know, learning about video editing, scripting, learning, you know, like how do I, you know, speak in a way in an articulate manner that the audience will actually listen to me. So those are the things that I had to, you know, develop over time. And again, shout out to Ali Abdal for that. But obviously you need a niche.
Yeah.
You need a niche to talk about, right? And I was a medical student, and that was around that time where I, you know, heard about the USMLE and how, you know, this exam forces you to think like a doctor, not just memorize stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I thought, you know, I could combine both my creator skills to whatever level I had, and also, you know, like the USMLE, documenting my USMLE journey basically. So that's the whole idea of creating content on Instagram, mainly where I post. I create content on USMLE to help guide students, the things that I wish I had known when I was starting. You know what I mean?
You know, when you started, there was a video that you made that you highlighted that you were an introvert before.
Yeah.
So what were the main challenges for you when you started social media as an introvert, and you think you've changed as a person since then?
It's a very profound question, to be honest. You know, a lot of the people assume just because you make social media, you are extroverted.
Yeah.
I think you get that a lot as well.
I get that a lot, yeah. I mean, I'm an introvert myself.
Yeah.
It seems contradictory, but you know, it's something that you can, I wouldn't say fake, but you can develop the skill of being more confident over time.
Exactly.
So yeah, sorry.
Sure. So I was initially introverted, right?
Okay.
That comes back from my background in school, because I was having a very close circle. There was no reason for me to go out there and, you know, like make new connections or go out there and talk to, you know, new people, right? But when I moved out from home, I went to I went to Poland for university.
Okay.
I spent there 2 years, 2.5 approximate. So over there, it was a new atmosphere, no connections, nothing. You know, it was like me living in a new world where I had to build connections. And that's when I realized, like, you know, you have to go out there. You have to build connections. You have to, you know, if you want to make something out of that place, you have to, you know, build connections, right?
No one's going to spoon feed you for the rest of your life, you know. You are adults at the end of the day.
And the reality hit me there, that I had to get out of my comfort zone. So obviously I was not a pro. Obviously I made mistakes and stuff, but that gave me that reason to, you know, go out there and make friends and stuff like that. Even till today, now that I'm in Georgia, I still have friends from Poland whom I'm still in touch. And the kind of friends who I kid you not, if they wouldn't have given me certain advices, you know, my life wouldn't be the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I had a similar experience when I was in Ukraine.
Right.
I met some, you know, really cool people, amazing people in Ukraine.
Yes.
And that was only because I had to step out my comfort zone. When I went to Ukraine, that was a moment in my life where I really pushed my limits at the time.
Yes.
You know, because back in 2018, when my parents were saying, Heather, do you want to go study medicine in Bulgaria? Or do you want to go study abroad? I was like, no. I don't think I can. You know, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave my hometown. I was like a really shy person.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like a hardcore introvert, you
Right.
know. But then after 2 years at uni in UK, then I sort of, you know,
Yeah.
when I was pushing myself, I got a bit more confident.
Yes, yes.
And then I went abroad, so then I had to be even more confident.
Yeah.
I had to, you know, accustom myself to
Yeah.
adapt to the environment.
Yeah.
So I think these situations do provide you the opportunity to
For
grow
real,
as a
for
person
real.
a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, like you said, you know, in Poland, that's when
Yeah.
it really helped you.
Yeah.
But, you know, do you think that people can change from an introvert to an extrovert?
For
Or do you
sure.
think you'll only stay at one side for the rest of your life?
Before I answer that, I think, you know, we have to like understand one thing. A lot of people, they think that, you know, being an extrovert is the way to go, in the sense of like success. Okay, if you wanna go places, you have to be an extrovert. I think you have to first understand that there are pros and cons of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to pick the pros from both sides and then put it into your advantage.
All right. Okay.
Right? And since you have asked whether you can convert to an introvert to an extrovert, again, you don't have to convert fully to an extrovert. You have to know, as I told you, pick the pros from both sides. As an introvert, they tend to, you know, think a lot and think very deep, which is very critical.
Okay.
Yeah, and as an extrovert, you should not, like, you can pick up the skill of, you know, going out there and just talking to anybody if you need to. You know, there shouldn't be something holding you back.
True.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, the cons could be like this. Being an extrovert, you, like, imagine you just create a lot of noise. That is also very annoying for people. You just keep talking, not letting the other person speak, stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Because I've read a book called "The Power of Introverts in a Quiet World"
Okay.
or something like that. I
Okay,
forgot the title, but the title was something like this.
The title is quite catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they mentioned a similar thing that you just mentioned. They said, you know, there are pros and cons of both sides.
Yes.
And you know, as an introvert, it's not sort of the end of the world. You know, you don't need to sit back and start panicking. Oh, I need to change.
For sure.
You could, you know, use your advantages, use the pros of being an introvert to excel in your own career path.
Right.
For example, they did like I don't know if it's an experiment. It was sort of an experiment.
Okay.
I think more of like an observership. They went to a work department and they compared people where they were sat all together as a circle.
Okay.
And they were sharing ideas and they were brainstorming ideas.
Okay.
And then they got another group of people and they told them, okay, go inside your cubicle with no distractions. It's just going to be you. After a while, come back to the circle and then share your ideas.
Okay.
And the people who went back into their cubicle, who were by themselves, they actually shared like more ideas and better ideas as well. So it just goes to show that, and it was the people that share the ideas were the introverts.
Oh.
You know, the people that wouldn't participate before.
Yeah.
They actually spoke up now.
Right.
Because they actually had the chance to come up with their own ideas. They had the peace and the quiet.
Yes.
And they could actually sit down with no distractions
For sure.
and say the ideas that they wanted to say. And I think that was quite a really good finding.
Yeah, and even if you look back in history, right, the most creative people like Leonardo da Vinci, I think
He was an introvert.
Yeah, he was an introvert.
Wow.
And you know, like they also say, like I was reading the other book. It's called I forgot the name. Yeah, The Art of Being Lonely, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I think you've heard of the book.
I've heard of it briefly. I've never read it.
Yeah. So it's basically pushes the idea that you need to be in your own zone, your space, to think deep, and you know, like articulate things that will actually, you know, help you progress in life. If you're always, you know, with a circle around, you don't have that peace to, you know, like work on yourself.
Exactly.
It's very important to isolate yourself to some parts of the day to, you know, progress in life.
You know what's quite sad?
Yeah.
A lot of people these days can't sit by themselves in quiet, in peace.
Yeah.
Because we're surrounded by this sort of, what do you call it? Like a hyper consumerist society.
Too much dopamine.
Everyone's on their phones.
Too much dopamine.
There's too much dopamine.
Yeah.
Everyone's always, they always have to be doing something.
There's always a trigger.
Exactly. When you're eating food, someone has to be watching a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Like, how do we even come to this point? I mean, we pretty much know how we came to this point because of technology and stuff. But I feel like self-control is a big factor in this because people can't control themselves.
Yeah, I kid you not. Yeah, absolutely.
And now they've come to a point where you know, there's what do you call it? There's people making videos about patience maxing. People make videos
Patience max.
of oh, I'm gonna sit and stare at a wall
for
for
8
60
minutes.
minutes, for 8 minutes or something, and they make a video about it.
Yeah.
Bro, this was like the basic necessity of life back in the days. How has it come to a point where you're making videos about it now?
For real,
Do you know what I mean? It just shows that many people don't do this anymore. And it's quite sad because it's actually quite important.
Yeah.
You know, even before you go to bed, people are scrolling.
Yeah.
You know, people say all the time, an hour before you go to bed, just keep your phone away from you, out of hand's reach, and just sit there with your thoughts and just think about what you're thinking. You know, what's it called? Meta thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the
Contemplation.
Contemplation. Yeah. Stuff like that. And a lot of people don't do that, and I think that's what's wrong with the society.
Including myself, you know, sometimes I'm at the gym, right? And I forget my AirPods. And I'm like, damn, what do I do now? Now I have to just listen to all that noise and you know what I mean?
And the gym music as well.
Gym music as well. So yeah, I personally struggle with this as well. And I would say that the entire system is designed in such a way that, you know, we are forced to, you know, overly stimulate ourselves always. Hyperstimulation is necessary.
Exactly. And I think the first step to change is just being honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
You just got to be honest. You know, say what your faults are, write it on a piece of paper and say, I need to fix X, Y, and Z.
For sure.
And then just go along with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. It is a challenge.
Yeah. So, you know, let's talk about USMLE. So what the people have come here for. I think we've been talking a bit too much now. So, first of all, let's start from the basic, like level 0. What is USMLE?
So USMLE is a United States medical license exam. Basically, it's an exam that everyone has to basically give in order to have a career, to become a doctor in the US or to practice medicine in the US, right? So the exam is divided into 3 parts. There are like 3 basic exams. You have step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 1 basically tests your preclinical subjects. You know, those, you know, anatomy, pathology, pathophysiology, and so on, right? Step 2 is more of the clinical aspect. Okay. More of the treatment, more of the management.
I think step 3 is like you can do it afterwards, right? When you're in residency.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the main obstacle is, you know, step 1.
Step 1, yes.
Once you do step 1, they say that a lot of step 2 content is step 1.
Absolutely.
Is that how true is that?
A lot of people I've met who have cleared step 2, they all tell me like, if you have given step 1 within 3 to 4 months of constant like
3 to 4 months.
Or even 6 months. Because 60-70% is step 1 content. 30% you can cover it up in 6 months if you lock in properly. And many have done. I know people who have done within 6 months of step 1 prep.
So you know, you're a USMLE mentor, right? So what advice do you like? What's the most sort of question that people ask you? Like, what's the most common question that people ask you?
I want to clarify one more thing. I do mentor students, but I haven't given the step 1 yet. Right? I'm planning on giving it soon, but the whole idea behind me pushing, you know, the mentorship or mentoring students is when I had started the USMLE journey, I didn't have the right guidance. I made a lot of mistakes. I had to get in touch with people who passed the exams, and you know, over time I learned from them as well as, you know, through my own experience. That's what I want to, you know, share. I don't want people to be repeating the same mistake as me, because this journey is quite long. You cannot like give it in 2 months and, you know, be ready in 2 months. It takes a lot of time. Imagine you spend a year learning for this exam and realize that your strategy was wrong. You know what I mean? So I like to share from my experience what I've done wrong so that they don't repeat it. Right? And coming back to your question, the most important question they ask is how long does it take? How long does the prep take? You know? And, you know, it actually comes down to how good your basics are. The stronger your foundation is, the faster you are towards, you know, giving the exam. Right? And another thing is, it's also about what strategies are you using. Because at the end of the day, it's an exam, and every exam has a pattern. If you are able to recognize a pattern and, you know, like be consistent with that, then you are more likely to, you know, give the exam faster.
So you know, this exam, you said it varies on how long it takes.
Yeah, yeah.
What's like the timeline, the minimum, like let's say a person with a good foundation, how long would it take for them, and a person with a weak foundation, how would it take for them?
I'll put the answer. It's a quite a complicated question,
Okay.
right? But the way I would like to put it is let's say your foundations are great, okay? You have to do UWorld. I personally have not met a single person who has cracked the exam without doing UWorld.
Okay.
Maybe there's like 1% in the population who has done it without UWorld. The reason I'm talking about UWorld is UWorld basically gives you the entire like the real time simulation of the actual exam.
I've heard that it's a bit harder than the actual exam, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the best part. If you're able to skill yourself up in a way that you're able to solve the UWorld questions, your chances of passing the real exam is better.
Right, okay.
It's not exactly the real simulation, as you said, it's a bit harder, but it's the closest thing you have. You know, in medicine you say, the gold standard. This is the gold standard.
Yeah.
So UWorld has around like 3,000 to 4,000 questions. You know, the faster you can finish those questions with proper understanding. Okay, not just skim through the question. No.
Yeah.
You do a question, you understand why the correct answer is correct and the wrong answers are wrong. Once you have developed that capacity and you have done about 80 to 90% of the UWorld, and then you can give yourself, you can do the NBMEs. Have you heard of the NBMEs?
Yeah, isn't those like practice exam questions?
Yeah,
that
for our
previously
viewers,
done before,
yeah, it's
or?
like a mock test.
Okay.
Yeah, and NBME is the organization that actually makes your USMLE exam.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's the same like type of questions.
Yes,
and stuff.
yes,
Same
yes.
sort of difficulty.
Yes.
Okay.
So once you've done the UWorld, okay, you give the NBMEs. If you reach up to like 65 to 70%, they say it's pretty much good enough that you can give the exam ahead.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to one person who's doing the USMLE as well, and he says to me the exact same thing that you were saying.
Yeah.
The MBMEs, that they're a really good representation of the actual exam itself.
Yeah.
So people have gone far as to saying that just before you go into the exam, people were asking questions. How do I manage my stress? Because it's a stressful exam. It's a long exam as well.
For sure.
I think we didn't mention, but it's about an 8-hour exam, right?
Around 8-hour exam, yeah.
And you can imagine for anyone sat in an exam room for 8 hours, we can't even do 2 hours without losing our minds. You know what I mean? So 8 hours is a long time. But they were asking this question: how do I manage my stress? Like, how do I go into the exam with full confidence that I'm gonna do well? And he said to me, your MBMEs, if all of your MBMEs were above 65% to 70%, you'll be fine. There's no need to stress.
True.
Because you did not fluke the exam. You're not gonna fluke the exam. You didn't
fluke.
Exactly. Those MBMEs that you did, that you got a really good score on, they were a really good representation of the actual exam.
Absolutely.
And if you're doing well on the MBMEs, 9 times out of 10, people will almost say, as far as to say, 100% of the time you are gonna pass.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's quite precise. Yes, I've heard the same as well. Yes.
Honestly, and people, I feel like people get into this trap like, okay, well, if MBMEs are a really good representation exam, I'm gonna start them before.
Okay.
But I think the other way. I think that you should leave the MBMEs towards the end of your revision. So you actually have, because there's not many MBMEs out there, are there?
No.
There's a limited amount.
Yeah.
So leave your MBMEs to the end, and then that way you'll have a proper representation of how you're going to do in the exam. Before then, like you said, do UWorld. What are the top resources that you use?
Right. Yeah. Since you mentioned UWorld, I just want to mention one more thing.
Okay.
That a lot of us make the mistake that we start testing ourselves through UWorld. Like, let's say someone just took the subscription and they start doing a block, and it's very humbling. Like you might just get like one of them right out of like 40 questions or 2, right? And that's the wrong way to approach UWorld. You are supposed to take UWorld as a learning tool. You make mistakes, you learn from it. And to actually test yourself, like you said, do the NBMEs in the end.
NBMEs in the end,
Yeah, UWorld is not the place to test yourself. Make mistakes, tons of mistakes, and you learn from them. And it doesn't matter, what your score is in the UWorld. It doesn't matter. The whole point is you learn from it, right? That's very important. And that's one of the most common things I get DMs about. Like, oh, I just recently started UWorld subscription, and
I'm getting like 10%,
yeah,
20%.
yeah, I
What's
thought my
going
base
on?
was great,
Yeah.
and look where I'm at now. What do I do? It's very demotivating.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I feel very humble right now, and I tell them the same thing. Like, look, it's meant to learn from, not to test yourself. Okay, speaking of resources, as you mentioned,
Yeah, resources. Yeah, what are the top resources that you would recommend?
if I were to start right from the base, like zero, okay, I would first choose a video library that covers different systems.
Okay.
Also, I get this question, like, because if you have opened the first aid book, right, the book is oriented in a way. There are subject-wise chapters, like you have anatomy, you have pathology, microbiology, and you also have like system-wise.
System-wise,
right?
yeah.
The best approach, I would think, is, from my experience, from mistakes that I've made, is start with system-wise. Pick a system.
So like cardiovascular system.
Cardiovascular, absolutely. Okay, pick the system. There is embryo, anatomy, pathology, biochemistry, so on. Okay.
Okay.
So choose a video resource. I personally prefer Boards and Beyonds. So I go to Boards and Beyonds. I go to cardiovascular section. He has divided cardiovascular into anatomy, into pathology, pharmacology, etc. And I watch those videos. Have a good base. Okay. And a lot of people, they also make this mistake. They listen to the video library passively.
What do you mean by passively?
Passively, like
they're just watching and they're not making any notes.
No, I'm not about just making notes. Like, they're not actively understanding what's happening.
Okay.
Because in the videos, Dr. Jason, he's the one who's keeping the lectures. He actively mentions certain points, like this is very high yield, or this is very important, or stuff like that, right? So that's something that I also made a mistake. Like, I used to watch I used to turn on the video. Maybe I'll put it into 2x. Try to in my head, I'm like, I just need to finish the video.
I need to finish the video. Yeah. Move on to the next one.
Yeah, move on to the next one. No, take your time. Maybe 1.5x is good. Understand the bigger picture. Understand the key points.
Okay.
And go step by step, because USMLE is literally going to test you to the molecular level.
Right. Okay.
You cannot just have superficial knowledge. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where people get humbled in UWorld, because UWorld literally tests
you on the little stuff.
Yeah, on the little stuff, and those are the things that you probably didn't listen or pay attention to.
Right. Okay.
And then again you realize, oh, I need to watch the video again.
Yeah.
So don't waste your time doing that. Just actively listen to those videos, and so you take a system, you watch those videos. Alongside, you can do UWorld. Also, a lot of people, what they do is they wait for UWorld to the end. I don't recommend.
Right.
UWorld.
Well, even before you finished all the studying from the videos.
You can start right away. There are people who tell you can do. Let's say from Boards and Beyonds, you're watching a system and you have finished the system. Okay, now it's a good time to start UWorld. Okay. Let's say I finished cardiovascular. I can start doing the UWorld questions from cardiovascular.
Right.
And that's where I am able to fill the gaps.
Okay.
You might think you know the stuff, but once you do the questions, you'll realize, no, there are so many gaps I need to fill, and UWorld is there to fill those gaps. Right.
Yeah, and how would you recommend to use a USMLE first aid book? Because a lot of people use the book incorrectly. They read it just from page to page, cover to cover, but like people say, you should use it as a review book in a way. Like whatever you need from it when you're doing the UWorld questions, for example, then go back to the book. Has that proven to be an effective method, or do you have a different approach?
I'll be very honest. From my experience, I'm not much in touch with first aid.
You're not?
I'm not much in touch. The way I do it is, okay, let's say if I were to start again, I take Boards and Beyonds, I watch the videos, okay? I can open the book and, have an idea as to the syllabus.
Okay.
When I say I'm not much in touch, I don't actively read it every day. Okay, rather I focus more on UWorld. Okay, I try to make sure that I understand the concepts in the UWorld and strengthen those. Because UWorld has almost 3,000 to 4,000 questions. That is quite time consuming. And once you are able to put yourself in a position where you are able to understand the pattern from UWorld, that is more effective than you literally memorizing the entire first aid.
Right, okay.
But again, it depends on person to person. I personally don't prefer the first aid much. I use it to have an idea as to what my progress is. Have I covered the anatomy? Have I covered the pathology? Yeah, maybe give it a read 1-2 times. What I would rather do is spend more time on building my base from Boards and Beyond, let's say, as well as focusing more on UWorld. If I want a quick review, I would go to Mailman. Have you heard of Mailman?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, but just for the viewers, you would just want to give a brief introduction.
Mailman is basically again, it's a USMLE resource. If you can check his website out, he has free stuff where he has PDFs system wise,
Yeah, yeah.
even subject wise as well. So let's say I did cardiovascular, I covered boards and beyonds, I did good amount of questions from UWorld. I go to Melman PDFs, and he literally summarizes the high yield points from that specific system.
Okay.
Because
And these are free resources on his website, right? For now.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, grab them before it.
Yeah, you never know what Melman's gonna do.
Yeah.
He does have a question bank as well, which is paid.
Yeah.
You know, have you tried the Melman question bank?
I haven't tried the question bank.
But you heard it's good.
To be fair, I have not tried, so I can't really tell.
Okay, fair, yeah.
But at the same time, I would say a lot of people, they also make this mistake. They take too many resources.
True.
That
was my next question, actually.
So too many resources can be very overwhelming. You know, have like 5 to 6. Now, even you asked me what other resources. Now, alongside boards and beyonds, I also have specific subject-wide resources as well.
Okay.
For example, Pathoma for pathology is brilliant. I cannot praise it enough. Like if my pathology, if I didn't watch those videos, my pathology wouldn't be that great. And USMLE, by the way, the highest subject that it tests on the highest subject that USMLE tests is pathology.
Pathology,
Yeah, your pathology has to be great. There's no doubt about it. So Pathoma is a great resource to study pathology. And the good thing is his video lectures, he mentions again the high yield stuff. So you don't waste time, learning everything. You don't need to learn everything. You need to know the high yield stuff to pass the exam.
You need to study smart, not hard.
Yeah, smart. Exactly. There you go.
But I guess for USMLE, you do need to study hard as well. But also study smart.
Both.
Yeah.
Studying smart and being consistent.
Yeah,
that's the hard part. That is the hard part.
Because a lot of people, they forget to realize that, USMLE is a marathon almost.
There you are.
It does take a lot of time to study. You need to, dedicate like 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, however long it's going to take you, depending on your lifestyle as well. And people give up like after a month.
Yeah.
They study for a month and then they still find it overwhelming. Oh, I'm getting all these questions wrong, and then they just give up.
Exactly.
They think that they can't do it.
Yeah.
But what they fail to realize is most people that pass step 1 and start past step 2, they're not like your geniuses that were heaven sent and now they have this ability to sit this really intense 8-hour exam. It's the people who stayed consistent. Do you know what I mean? My next question was, how and where do you like to study? Just a bit of a break from USMLE.
Before answering this question, where is this coffee from?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So this is from the coffee shop around the corner. It's called Kaba.
Really?
Yeah, it's in Tbilisi. It's a student-owned coffee shop. It's actually
No way.
really nice.
No way.
Honestly, I need to try it. How did you find the coffee? Was it nice?
It's pretty good. You're from the UK, right?
Yeah.
Should I put in your word? This is banging.
Honestly, this milkshake is absolutely banging as well. Like, it's really good to have these coffee shops around you.
Yeah.
Especially, the student-owned ones. So I feel more comfortable going in them.
Is he a med student though?
Yeah, he's a med student.
Wow.
Honestly,
Yeah,
balancing this with the med school as well is
no
amazing.
joke.
And he's doing a brilliant job. The coffees are amazing. The milkshakes are absolutely banging. They also do desserts as well.
Right.
Desserts.
I love the packaging.
Yeah.
It's very unique.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen such thing in entire
for the price as well, like I can't remember the exact prices anymore, but last time I checked the price, it was pretty affordable.
Right.
For the quality anyway. For good quality.
And I'm sure it is, since you mentioned it's a student-led business, right?
Yeah. And, I was going to lead on to this question because I was going to say, where do you like to study?
Right.
Me personally, I like to study in coffee shops.
Okay.
And that's why Kava was the best option for me because, it is a bit quiet sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's busy, but you just need to time it a little bit. For sure. So that's really helpful for me. And, amazing menu. So definitely go check them out.
I'm going to go there.
Yeah. So what about you? Where do you like to study?
I prefer home, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not that outgoing, to be honest, when it comes to studies. I prefer the home, but again, there are times when I just don't want to study at home. I want to go grab some sun.
You need a change of scenery as well.
For sure. And especially, it also depends on the weather. I'm someone, my mood depends on the weather. Like,
right, okay.
If the sun's out,
I'll be
the most energetic person you ever met.
Yeah.
The introvert in me will die. So that's probably I'll go to a coffee shop most likely, and also libraries as well.
Libraries, yeah.
my university has a library. I'm sure most universities have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great spot as well. And as a matter of fact, also I used to go to the library as well because you'll see people who keep sitting there for like hours, and that way that you can seek some advice from.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to go to the libraries a lot, and that's where I met people, or my mentors, as I can say, who have saved me tons of time.
Right.
And coming back to the let's say the communication part, like if that was me, for example, let's say 5 years ago, I wouldn't go reach out to them.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stress enough the importance of reaching out to people, especially the right people.
Mm-hmm.
In the libraries, I used to see people who are like there every other day. I used to go out to them. I used to tell them, I'm studying for USMLE. Do you have any advice and stuff like that? And they are also studying for the USMLE, and they tell me about resources. They tell me about tricks and some tips that I wouldn't have guessed otherwise.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
So that's a great spot, for you to seek advice and get mentorship from as well, from your peers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do you like actually apply for the USMLE? Do you know any information about this?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you contact? Like, what's the process?
It's quite tricky as well. It's a bit time consuming. It's not like straightforward. You go to the website, give your details and it's done. No. So I'm also in this process of registering. So you go to the ECFMG website, right? I'm sure there are YouTube tutorials on this, but I'll just give a brief mention as to how it works. You go to the website, they ask you for the basic details, and you have to also like submit your like a professional photo of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And give your like passport details, and they are going to book an appointment with you.
Okay.
So there's going to be like a live video call to verify yourself and everything. So this process can take up to like a month.
A month.
Yeah, a month.
Wow.
So I would advise, like, if anyone who's going to give the USMLE and they know that they're going to give in like 4 or 5 months, they should do it. At least just register yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can book the date whenever you want.
Yeah, definitely. So for specific subjects, are there specific resources?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned for pathoma, for pathology.
Yes.
What about the other subjects?
Right. Now, microbiology, for instance, right? There's this famous platform, Sketchy.
Sketchy.
Yeah. They are based on they draw visuals and they help you associate information through visuals. If you're someone who's a visual learner, that's a great resource. I personally use it because I absolutely despise memorizing microbiology, right? Those videos and those pictures, like I think it's called Picmonic, something like that.
Picmonic. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Picmonic is like come from mnemonic, right?
Yeah.
So basically you're associating information from pictures. So that helps me a lot. So I personally use Sketchy a lot for micro as well as pharmacology.
Okay.
Yeah, but for pharmacology also I would advise start from Boards and Beyond because he explains you the why behind everything, right? And to help you strengthen the memory, you can watch Sketchy videos.
Right. Okay. I heard Dirty Medicine is good for biochem.
Oh, that is again banging.
Banging.
I'm glad you mentioned when I'll be eating food, right? I need something entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Right. That is Dirty Medicine for me.
Wow. Okay.
Because what he does is he simplifies everything like to the it again comes back to the same thing where he's trying to explain something that even a 5-year-old will understand, and it's quite entertaining. So as you mentioned, for biochemistry it's great. I personally use it for like if I'm doing let's say it's cardiovascular for this month or for the next 2 weeks, I will definitely watch Dirty Medicine. He talks about the high yield stuff,
right?
What do you need to focus more on? So that saves me a lot of time.
Okay. And what about like to review everything, because there's a lot of content to review.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you sort of review everything? Do you use flashcards? You just go over your notes? Like, what's your method behind that?
That's something that I terribly suffered from in the beginning, because so much content, there's no way I can keep everything in my head. Even now, for example, if I start watching Boards and Beyonds, if I watch 3 videos, I have lost track of the first one. So the way I used to do it, and this is what my seniors told me as well, that there are Anki. You know Anki?
Yeah, the flashcard.
Yeah, flashcard app. Yeah. So they have got ready-made decks based on the video you watch. Okay, so you don't even have to make notes, and I despise making notes.
Yeah, same.
It's like an L method.
It's very time-consuming.
It's time-consuming, and the information doesn't retain as well.
Okay.
So rather focus on active recall, where you force your brain to remember
answer questions.
Yeah.
Like you use flashcards.
Yeah. So I use Anki. So they have decks based on the videos you watch.
Okay.
So that way I am able to retrieve my memory, right? Better. But of course, you have to be consistent with Anki as well. because again, if you after a month you might forget as well.
True.
So I think the best way to handle memory loss, and it's very normal. By memory loss, obviously I mean memories of those content, right? Do UWorld on the side, because UWorld, the questions are based on incorporating knowledge from all systems. Okay, so if there's a patient who comes up with hypertension and diabetes and let's say has a bit of hallucination as well, so you're incorporating psychiatry, endocrinology, cardiovascular symptoms, and then you're coming up to a formulation of the answer.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're actively recalling all the systems together. So UWorld is a must. Yeah, and alongside you can do the DEX to retrieve information.
Yeah. So my next question was gonna be, I know I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable or back you into a corner or anything, but which resources would you say to avoid using too excessively?
It's actually a very good question.
Okay.
Because one of the common prep mistakes everyone makes is having too many resources.
Yeah, true.
They feel like they're drowning in the ocean of resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really depends on the person what works. Now like I mentioned Boards and Beyonds, I mentioned Pathoma, I mentioned Sketchy, I mentioned Dirty Medicine Mailman. Now there are people who might disagree with me. So what I would suggest is take a good amount of time to understand what works for you and what doesn't.
Right. Okay.
And then you make your move. Okay. I know people who despise Sketchy. It doesn't work for them.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So find the resource that works for you. This is what I think works for majority of the people. Whatever resource I mentioned, like 70% that have people on the internet, they say the same. And I personally have used them as well. I personally recommend them. Now, does that mean that's the only way you're going to pass the exam? No. Right? You can have your own resources as well. But what I would say is keep your resources limited. But there are some resources that you cannot skip. Absolutely, it's basically non-negotiable.
Yeah.
UWorld is right on top.
The big three, what do you call it? The
UWorld.
Like Boards and Beyond.
Boards and Beyonds. Yeah.
And the first aid.
First aid for sure. For sure. Again, it depends. Like I personally don't read from it a lot, but you can use it. You can use it. Yeah. But it basically sets you the foundation of the syllabus you need to cover.
Yeah. Oh, and Pathoma as well.
Yeah, Pathoma as well.
The most.
Yeah. For sure. So I would say take a good amount of time to decide what works for you, and then keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Don't look back.
A bit of a personal question.
Please.
How long did it take you to, be fully prepared for step 1?
Honestly,
like from beginning to end.
My base wasn't that great.
Okay.
To be very honest. Okay. So I spent good amount of time building my base. So that took me like a year, to be honest. Yeah. So I started a bit early. That's the advantage you have starting early. Like I started
go at your own pace sort of thing.
Yes. I started maybe second, third year. So my base was good. But the mistake I made is I did not do UWorld at that time.
Right, okay.
So had I combined the base with the UWorld, I would have,
finished it faster.
Faster, right. So now I'm focused more on UWorld. So I still have got good amount of,
questions to do.
Yeah, good amount is a fair amount of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, but once I'm done with that, as I said, I'll give the NBMEs and then I can tell, whether I'm ready or not. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Is there anything else you want to mention? I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. I would like to mention that this exam, more than just knowledge, it's about consistency. I cannot stress this enough. Like it doesn't matter how motivated you are it doesn't matter how motivated you are on Mondays. It matters most when you don't feel motivated.
Yeah.
So even an hour is.
It's still good.
It's still good.
As long as you do it every single day.
Yes.
Don't stop.
Just don't stop. Of course, the days you're motivated, you will put in the hours, right?
Yeah.
But the days you don't feel like even an hour or even half an hour, okay, don't, underestimate that amount of time. So it's about consistency because even, like I said, I mentor students, right? What I've realized over time is students are not worried about the content. They're more so worried about the clarity.
Right.
That they need to get as to how they can move on forward and how to be consistent and what resources to use and what not. So this whole problem is the reason why I wanted to push content on this part because it's a long journey. Imagine you are in a journey where you are just taking the wrong road and you realize after a year that
I know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That is a very bad feeling at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And obviously you can avoid that by
Yes.
reaching out to mentors like
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So you can sort of streamline the
Yeah,
path
yeah.
for yourself.
Even if you once you know the right strategy, it will take you a good amount of time, 6-7 months or even a year, right? That's a good timeline, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So a year of study is not a joke. So it's very important that you get the right mentorship,
Yeah.
okay, and choose the right resources, have a good plan, and the exam is gonna work out. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having
It's been
me.
a pleasure. And a big
same.
shout out to Kava once again.
Spanish latte.
Amazing milkshake, amazing coffees.
Bangin latte.
Bangin cafes. It's a bangin coffee. So definitely go check that out. So yeah, that's a wrap, man. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you
a
very
legend,
much.
bro.
Pleasure's all mine, man.